Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And getting to it a little late, but I don't think they're super duper important. We do have two new skill fusions that came with the antagonist meta, Emils and Shinsha, and the new form of Cleash. So we have the old Earth Clayman, and we have the first anniversary Dark Shinsha. Now, these two units came out right next to each other because Clayman and his Earth meta was the immediate meta prior to the first anniversary, and Shinsha came out as the second banner for the third anniversary. Yeah. So they are quite back to back, and they do radically different things. Neither of them, I would say, well, Shinsha, I mean, for what she's wanting to do, is just better overall. Like, there's no downside to her. Clayman, who the fuck uses Clayman anyways? So, if we are to look at this, Clayman's skill, it is skill revamping his taunt ability. So this is a 2-turn guaranteed chance to taunt and 35% counter power. So Clayman, chance to taunt for 2 turns, so all attacks are directed at him, and then every time that he gets hit and he has the counter attack from his protector Benimaru, which if you're running him, he'll get counters. His counters will do an additional 35% extra damage. Cool. Whoop-de-doo. His skill fusion now simply changes that to 100% counter power, which I mean it's a buff, right? 65% extra power is not a bad thing. It's just that you need someone to actually give him counterattack rate, which is not a lot of protectors. And the fact that he taunts is cool and all, but he doesn't have any major defensive abilities because his other skill is crit damage lowering and poison damage stacking. So he doesn't really have a lot of inherent good defense except for his base stats. So taunting, not really a thing we see in this game. We saw it with the Konosuba Darkness because it followed her canonically, and Clayman just because he wants to get punched in the face a lot, which I guess is also canonical, but does not make him any better of a unit. He's still pretty ass. And his skill fusion, while technically better, is still ass. So don't skill fuse him unless you're trying to get like the bingo mission for 40 skill fusions and you have nothing else to do, which there's plenty. There's a lot more than just 40 skill fusions. I will I will show you, which I haven't even added Clayman and Shinsha here, but there's a lot more than 40 that you can do. So that's Clayman. He's not good still. It didn't really make his stock go up at all. Shinsha, though, is doing something very specific, and now she's just simply doing it better. Just like the Masked Hero last month. You know, she gave guaranteed crits and 30% crit resistance down to begin with, and now she simply gives more crit resistance depending on how many skill points you use. It's a better skill because it does more. It's not any worse. It didn't like up its cost or anything, so it's not bad. It's just not super duper impactful. Shinsha, I think, is the same way. So Shinsha's skill, if we look at it, it is her awakened skill. And this is I'm pretty sure she was the very first character that had a turn or skill point restriction on their skills. I don't think this existed prior to Shinsha, where you had to go 8 turns before the skill changed and became more powerful. That didn't happen back in the first anniversary. The next time we got that was Light Lumi for the Light 3.0 team, New Year's of 2023, where after 8 turns, she lowered the stun resistance of one enemy, so we could stun Veldora and Tempered Edge, but you had to go 8 turns. Shinsha, you have to go 8 turns. Her dark attack is 50%. After 8 turns, it's 70%, and then she lowers dark resistance by 10%. Now, it is 80% dark attack after turn 8, so 10% up here, and then her dark resistance down went to 50%. So that's quite a jump from 10%. So it's still highly specific to dark characters. So Ainz, Fount of Wisdom Albus. I actually, is this AoE dark resistance or is it still single target? it is AoE dark resistance. That's even better. So this, yeah, oh, it's always dark resistance. I'm an idiot. Okay, well, regardless, it does help, like Coleus Rimuru. Other dark characters in general will get a 80% buff and a 50% dark resistance down, which resistance down debuffs that are element based or defensive down, straight up defense, are not very strong inherently. So that's not like this is going to help you do tens of millions of more damage just because you're getting an extra 40% here. No, you'll probably do about 100k more, maybe 200k, depending on how many other buffs you have and how long you've been stacking and such things. But it is an increase, and it's the same cost, and the scope of the effect is still the same. You still have a 50%, you go 8 turns, and it gets better. So the spirit of the skill is still there. It's just higher percentages, which makes it an upgrade to her skill. It's not like the orb change units like Light Lumi or Space Velzard, where you get triple orb changing, but it's now more cost and it becomes unwieldy to use sometimes. Like, I don't like those. And then there's some skills that are just complete and utter just jack crap, yeah. So Shinsha objectively got a good skill fusion. Are you going to use it a lot? Not, I don't know, not really. The new nuking Shinsha is light. She's the AoE character, which means that there's another light character that's single target that's going to come, and the Shinsha doesn't do anything for the new Shinsha or whatever light character is coming, because she's only buffing dark. Who else is dark on this team? Gelmood? You can fuck right off. Free to play Isis? Okay, cool. Not a big deal. But if we then look at the entirety of the dark characters, quite a bit more. Dark Milim. She's technically already getting dark attack from her own buff, but hey, whatever. We're gonna get more off of Shinsha. Tempsley Benimaru. Ainz, the new Hinata. Chao Tier, I guess. Soe, very strong. Octagram Lumi, still a very strong support buff. Anniversary Milim. I mean, they're in the same meta. It makes sense that she would buff Milim. So it's not like there aren't any dark characters that are going to benefit from the skill fusion of this new Shinsha. It is just limited to dark. So if we just for 3 months do not get a single dark character, Shinsha's not really going to look that great. But honestly, how often do you use dark Shinsha either? That's, I think, the bigger question. A lot of these skill fusions, a lot of them, there are outliers like Octagram Lumi that are good across the board. Earth Trainee, Water Soe, Light Shizu. Like, these are very strong, good orb changes. It gives them viability on a number of teams because they're not really that restricted. But some of these skill fusions, it turns limited units into better limited units, but it's still limited. So some of them, most of them, are kind of meh. Some of them are better. Some of them are not. All of them are meh, because you have to build around a specific team, and these units are very, very old. At this point, we're getting teams that do 30 million damage, and Shinsha's going to help you do an extra 100k? Whoop-de-doo. Am I right? So, none of these two skill fusions don't blow me away. But we haven't really been getting a lot of, we got a lot for Ogre's Pride, yeah, sure, but only one of them was even remotely good, and the other ones are just kind of terrible. So, there's your skill fusions for the Antagonist meta. Let me know what you guys think about this new Shinsha, and I don't really care how you feel about Clayman, because I'm not going to budge on the fact that he's just still terrible. But that's it for me. Take it easy, and I will see you all later.